All right, so I just wanted to show you what some of the details here for this fold-up countertop that I made, and you can see right away I'm in a 20 BHS, but it's different. I modified it by taking the microwave that was here and I moved it over here. In our case, we do boondocking, and so we don't use the microwave, even though we have the battery bank, and we can use it with our battery bank. We just don't really use it that much. So I figured it's okay to have it a little bit lower, and then I put in this Truma combi. Anyway, we can save that for another video. But your microwave is going to be here on the BHS, and this one I moved over here, and you can still do it with your factory setup. It's just going to be that yours is going to stick out a little bit further than mine. It's going to stick out about 3/4 of an inch further than this one, because you have the cabinet face right here. So hopefully that makes sense. But with that said, this is the lamp leg from Ikea, and I'll give you guys links to everything, and that way you can find things pretty easily. So now down here, kind of modified things a little bit. It's got a latch, because otherwise I figured when we're driving down the road, this would have been bouncing all over. And so just kind of, I'll give you the links again for this latch right here, the catch, and then you can see it just spring loaded, and so then that just comes up. I'll show you here. This, I'll give you the link for this as well, but that's just modified angle bracket from Home Depot. Just kind of cut things off and then bent this piece up right here so that it serves as a catch, if that makes sense. And then this is just a piece of poplar scrap that I had, and just cut it down, and it's 7/8 of an inch for the thickness on this. But again, you're going to have to adjust based on your setup. So it doesn't mean you should just go and get a piece of poplar or any material and just cut it to 7/8 and you'll be fine. So, and then I just screwed it in. It's got the 3 holes there. I ended up going with the brushed nickel hardware. If I could do it again, I'd probably go with the black hardware, just because that's kind of the theme throughout the Ibex. Anyway, so you can see it's pretty straightforward. These are just 12-inch, fold up hinges here, brackets, and also in my case, which won't be in your case, but had to notch this out a little bit right here, because when you drop it down, it was hitting this. So then just adding that notch there made it so that it's not scraping that anymore, and could latch in and click in, so it's nice and solid. So then also, because I really wanted to make sure that this is nice and firm and stable with weight on it, right, instead of kind of being flimsy. When you're putting weight against this, I mean, this is just kind of particle board behind here, right? At least just this trim anyway, and then it's just hollow behind there. But this is just, particle board trim, and it really can't handle a lot of weight. And so you should also, to do it right, put some bracing behind here that goes over to the back wall, so that you're just transferring the load from going against this. Any weight that gets pushed against this actually gets pushed against that back wall, so it'll actually be able to handle far more weight. And I took the screws out on the microwave already, and I'll show you here in a second. I'll pull this out, and then that way you can kind of get a visual of what it looks like inside. So and the dimensions on this, I believe, I think it's 20 3/4 by 18 1/8. And you can just look that up with on Ikea or on that Amazon link to see the exact dimensions. But hang on a sec, and I'll pull this out. All right, so pulled out the microwave, and this is just scrap that I had for things. So don't, it's not painted green for a reason. This was just scrap. So that, in case you're wondering if there's some sort of waterproofing, it's not. This is just a guide for the microwave, so it doesn't scoot side to side. But then you can see under here, hang on a sec, that I've added a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and then and that's just on the back side here, because like I was saying, when you put the, when you have the bracket here, right, this is going to kind of flex in if you don't kind of make that more rigid. So it has now the 3/4 inch plywood on the whole back side of all of this, and then it transfers. So you can see here, and in adding this, ripped another piece, and then that transfers over to the back wall, and then here just transfer that load, spread it out by screwing in here. And on the other side of this, I actually have pieces of plywood as well for the drawer. So it's actually, this is really rigid, that transfers all the way to that back wall, if that makes sense. So you just want to make sure that you don't just put this in and then that's, someone puts too much weight in and then you just push this all the way through, and then you have another issue to deal with. So hopefully that's helpful. I think it's really nice because it's such a lack of counter space, and having this, in my opinion, is really necessary. And then this is bamboo. In our case, we're in Colorado, and it's really dry here in general, so I'm a little concerned that we're going to have issues with this kind of splitting, like drying, shrinking, and splitting. So I've taken a couple times now, just some coconut oil, and then just heat that up, which it doesn't take much to heat it up, and then melt it, and then just kind of rub that over this whole surface here and try to let it soak in a little bit, and then I wipe it off and get all the excess off. So trying to kind of keep this moisturized, if that makes sense. So anyway, hope this helps some of you. Take care.